Welcome to ecigonlinereview.com, home of your premier electronic cigarette review.
Hi, it's Tina with ecigonlinereview.com. I did my review on the Eversmoke, and I wanted to go over, highlight some of the things I already mentioned in part 1 and give you a little more in-depth idea of what you're looking at with the Eversmoke kit. So let's touch on some things that I found in the battery. Like the length of it, even if it was the high capacity, the width wouldn't seem awkward holding it, so I think that was kind of a plus. It didn't seem huge, and I've had some that are quite large and kind of awkward to hold, so that was a good thing. The other thing was the end there is like a little crystal, and it is really quite neat because when you smoke on it, as you'll see in a minute, it turns red, like red burning embers, like a real cigarette. I found that to be kind of neat. I haven't seen that in the other electronic cigarettes. Now we're going to hit on the tobaccos. Now you get 5 cartomizers of your choice and different milligrams, your flavors. It comes in they have 3 different tobacco flavors that you can pick from. I got the classic tobacco. And then of course they have the fruity and the menthol and so forth. And we'll touch on all that another time. I picked the classic tobacco, and I got, normally you just get the 5 cartomizers. I got one in each milligram so that I could give you a good review to kind of check and see if there was a variable when you smoked on the 24 milligram as opposed to the 0, and the difference in the strength, the feel of the throat, satisfaction, all of those things. So we're going to start off, and I'm going to open up and start on a 24 milligram. We're going to check to see together if the vapor was any different. So you can see as well as I can see. I didn't find that the vapor had it didn't diminish in any of the different milligrams. All the way down to 0. It was really adequate. I was impressed with it. Now the feel was quite different. There is a big difference between the 24 as opposed to the 0. As you go down, you can definitely feel the difference in the throat. The 24 was almost too much for me. Now, it really depends on what you're used to. If you're used to smoking a very strong, bold, full flavor, you might like the strong kick in the throat. It was a little bit too much for me. I felt that the 18 kind of was better for me to start with, and then I went down. Now the 0 was too light, so I'm not there yet, and so like I said, you'll see that you need to start at a certain milligram and then wean yourself down. This is what the vapor looks like on the 24. Definite kick in the throat. Definite strong feeling of satisfaction like you just took a drag off a cigarette. The flavor in the classic tobacco I found was really great. Refreshing, clean, fresh, and tasted similar to tobacco. You'll find that like in some of your e-cigs, their tobacco flavor might have kind of a coffee hint. This was a fresh, refreshing tobacco, definite tobacco flavor. I really like the fact that it's got a great, tremendous amount of vapor. If you take a look from a side, really adequate vapor. I'm real big on the vapor. You may not be, but that kind of gives me the satisfaction smoking a cigarette. I really enjoy that. Now I'm going to show you with the 0 milligrams. I didn't notice any vapor difference, but I definitely felt different. It's very, very, very light. So you are going to see a difference in your milligrams. They're all the classic tobacco, so the flavor is the same, but the milligrams were different, and there was a definite difference in the kick in the throat, the feeling of satisfaction. So you're going to have to wean yourself down to where you're just doing the reaction response, not necessarily needing that heavy, throaty feel. Still getting a tremendous amount of vapor. Real satisfied with that. I was real impressed with it. The battery life lasted a good, not long time. It's just like it says it will. You get about probably like a pack of cigarettes out of one battery lifespan in a cartomizer. I did notice with the cartomizers, in some of your electronic cigarettes, they get a burnt kind of taste when the cartomizer is burning out. I didn't get that with this necessarily. It just kind of lost its vapor. So it just kind of putters out and then you're finished with it. The other thing I wanted to mention is that they put a silicone seal here on the end of the cartomizers, and what it does is it prevents any of the e-liquid from seeping out, any of your oils, anything. So that I thought was a plus. On some of the electronic cigarettes, they just kind of have a rubber end. This has a silicone seal, so you're not going to lose any of that. So all in all, I would say I would love the kit. I like the feeling of it. I even had a friend try it, and she smoked on the Eversmoke, and she was very, very satisfied. She liked the 24 milligrams and the heavy throat kick. So like I said, it's a choice, and it's based on what your preferences are. So you might start with the 24, and then if it's too much, go down to the 18 milligrams and so forth. She really, really liked it, and that was satisfying for her. In fact is, she said she craved the Eversmoke as opposed to real cigarettes. And that was encouraging, very encouraging for her to have the desire to smoke on the electronic cigarette and not the regular cigarette. So that's what I found with the Eversmoke. I hope this really helps you in choosing what you'd like to smoke in an e-cigarette. So that wraps up my review for the Eversmoke. Thank you very much for joining us. Go to our website at ecigonlinereview.com and look for discounts, coupons, and also you can go straight from our website to the Eversmoke link and purchase. Thank you very much, and join us again for our e-cig reviews.